Yo, what's up, boys? In this video, I'm gonna make Warzone 1v1s very simple for you. I'm gonna share with you my two thought processes for how I break down fights and make them very, very simple. We're gonna go over two clips to explain that, and then we're gonna hop into some gameplay where I explain my exact thoughts going through every single 1v1. This is not a perfect game where I drop 40 kills. This is one with a few mistakes in it, so we can actually talk about things that you guys can learn. It's time to get good. All right, boys, so in this very first clip, I wanna talk about the most fundamental aspect of 1v1s. And this might seem obvious to some people, but to others, this is gonna make the process of fighting players much easier and much less scary. So the way I think about it, and what I tell my coaching students all the time, is you wanna get first shots and you wanna track better. If you can do those two things, you will win 90% of your gunfights. Now, obviously it gets a little bit hairy. Another thing people don't realize is that your gunfights start before you even pull the trigger. And so right away, we're getting information right now. We're figuring out where players are, because if you don't know where players are via, a UAV, audio, visual, footstep, all that stuff, you're never going to be able to get the first shots, right? If you're just wandering around the map with bad centering, someone's going to get first shots on you. So one of the things that's costing you guys 1v1s is you're not picking the right fights. Some of you guys love downtown. I hate downtown. The reason I hate downtown is because it makes fights very, very, very chaotic, very random. They drag on super long. Another fundamental you want to think about is you don't want to let your fights take forever. The longer the fight takes, the hairier it gets, the more likely the randomness of Warzone is to come into your game. So I avoid downtown. Immediately I look, I'm like, nope, not going here. Not going here because that guy's too far away. Not going here because that guy's too far away. Why does it matter how far away they are? Because we have a UAV up. We want to use that UAV to have live information so we can more accurately play the fight, right? Like, if I don't know where a guy is in real time, I'm not going to be able to kill him. So I choose this fight. We're just going to skip ahead a little bit. We hear footsteps. We hear footsteps around concrete. So we don't know for sure what floor this guy is on. If I have to guess, I already know what happens here, but if we have to guess, because earlier on the UAV, we saw a red dot with an arrow above it. That means he's probably on the roof somewhere. We don't know that for sure. So I slide out here with try to shoulder it, have good centering. And then we hear him crawling above us. Not crawling, but moving. And so I center my crosshair where I'm most likely to get shot from. Centering is a big part of this. Right now, we're just trying to get first shots. And so right away, I hit a quick little shoulder. I just want you guys to start utilizing that more. I hit a quick shoulder to visually confirm where this guy is. A lot of you guys would just either not push this because you're scared, or you're one of those people that plays really aggressive and you're just going to run out and, go fight this guy and he's going to get first shots on you, right? Had I just ran out this door, right? Like, look, had I just ran out this door, there's tracers right here. This guy's already shooting at me. And so by hitting a quick shoulder, I now have visual confirmation that, okay, this guy's right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my impact grenades with another quick shoulder to break this guy's plates, get first shots, obscure his vision, right? Like, we're trying to get first shots. That's all I'm trying to do right here. So right away, I break this guy's plates. I pull out my knife. I know that I need to go now. The second you get first shots, you want to play very aggressive because you have the advantage in the gunfight. Hit a different angle. Very, very simple. We got first shots. We didn't even need to track better because the guy was so low. All right, but what do you do if you don't get first shots? That's what I want to talk about here. So this next framework or mindset, whatever you want to call it, that I like to use when I'm thinking about gunfights is thinking about it in terms of percentages. I tell my coaching students all the time, or Aaron from the Bot to Pro video, that every gunfight generally starts out as a 50-50, meaning each player has, the even amount of odds to win the fight. The way getting first shots helps you, like we talked about earlier, is it gives you the advantage in that gunfight, right? So if I get first shots, at a bare minimum, I'm going to have a 60-40. So that means I have a 60% chance of winning the gunfight. The more you think about gunfights in this way, and we're going to get into the details here, the more you think about the gunfights this way, it's going to make things a lot easier for you. So let's roll here. Our information right now is we have a bounty. Look up in the top left, we have a bounty. We think that it's over here on the left, right? Because the bounty is narrowed down here. But what you guys don't know is bounties, I think they update every 10 to 15 seconds. I can't remember. So the bounty then updates really close to our right. So I'm like, okay, he's not here. He's definitely over here somewhere, right? So we're back up the car. We're using the car as cover here. I stop, I get out, try to use the car as cover. I don't know what happens here. I was literally laying down. I was literally laying down and took so much damage there. And so this is an example of what do you do when you don't get first shots. Right now, this guy has, well, we skipped ahead a little bit. We broke his plates. So right now, technically it's a 50-50, but when I get my plates broken right there, I have no plates, right? So let's just say before I break this guy's plates, it was probably a 30-70 gunfight, right? Like he has the advantage because my plates were broken. What I did by using my impact grenade probably prevented him from pushing me, right? Like if I hadn't broken his plates, he probably would have pushed me here. By breaking his plates, we're now literally in a dead even 50-50 gunfight, okay? He throws a grenade at my car. I think it's gonna blow up, and so I'm like, okay, let's reset this gunfight. Let's reset this gunfight. I back up to a new position. I mount up, center my crosshair where I know he is. I hit good shots. Now I have an advantage. I got first shots. He's going to try and re-peek again, or he's got to move at some point because the zone's closing. So I reposition to a new spot so he can't get first shots on me. Throws the smoke. I know he's going to run through, so I just pre-fire. All right, so we pre-fire there. We get first shots again. He's got to run around this way. Now at this point, I know I have this guy. This guy has to move towards me. If we look up at the minimap, the zone is literally closing right now. I can play this as patient as I want because he is the one that I got first shots on him, and he has to move my direction. Like, I don't have to overextend and go fight this guy unless there's a timing issue. I throw anticipatory impact grenade to try and get first shots again. He's in the gas. I know he's got to push towards me, so I slide up to some cover. I get first shots again. He starts to shoot at me. I just play my cover, right? Again, he has to come to me. I don't have to do anything. Threw a smoke left. And now I know he's going to die here in the next 5 or 10 seconds. So I just wait for him to run, right? Like he was literally a bullet because I made him eat gas. So those are the ways I like to think about gunfights that make it easy for me. We get first shots, we track better, and then we think about gunfights in terms of 50-50 or just percentages. Now let's get more into the details because this is like very surface level basic stuff. I want to get more into the details in a higher level game. Where I make some mistakes, it's not a perfect game. Let's get into it. Okay, so every single game I start with a contract. If you guys have been on the videos, I preach this. I'm not going to keep harping on it. I always start with a scavenger contract. But as we land in here, I know that there's players landing near me. I'm listening. I hear it in my left ear. Hear it in my right ear now. And I hear the guy cut the chute. I know he's up here. So if we look up at the top left, I know he's up here, right? Like we can either circle this on the map here. I heard him land here. That's how I know. And so because I got a good SMG right away and I have my contract, I'm now going to go push this as soon as possible. One of the biggest power spikes you get in Warzone is your loadout. But when you get a decent SMG right off the rip, that's another power spike. And so we don't want to, the longer we let this guy loot around and do whatever he's doing, the more likely this is to be a 50-50 gunfight. I know we kind of talked about it in terms of getting first shots and tracking better, but another way to think about it is, do you have a gun and they don't? Okay, let's go push. Don't waste time. We don't need to sit here and loot boxes. Let's go. So right away, pull out my knife. We're centering up the hill in case he pushes. We hear glass break, door break. Easy shots here. Very, very simple. That was just a timing thing. Like that guy had 2 LMGs, we had an SMG. One mistake I make here is I don't plate. I don't plate. We see a sniper right here. See a sniper glint. We use movement to make him miss. And then we reposition to a different angle. You guys are going to notice also, I do a lot of sliding and then jumping in this clip. There's a bug in Warzone right now where you literally jump after your slides sometimes for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know if a fix is coming. So right now we're using our ears to try and locate where this guy is, right? We saw the sniper glint. We came over here. We hear footsteps inside here. Throw that. That's just a guess. That wasn't a for sure, right? Like, I don't know if he's in here to the right or if he's in this window. So the flash gives us confirmation that he's in this corner. Stun, excuse me. Very simple. 2 easy kills right off the rip. We got one guy pushing towards us. We hear the parachute. He cuts. And so I throw down that spring mine to make sure he can't push into my building without taking damage because I need to put on plates. I need to reload. Throw another one down. I know that I can play around these if I need to. Probably should have reloaded a little quicker there. This guy's not pushing me, right? Like we heard him cut his chute and land here, but he didn't pop the door. And so I know that this guy's on the outside of the building somewhere. And so when I chow out here, make sure we got good centering. when I chow, I'm also aware of the fact that he might have heard that, right? And so if I run into a sweatier player, I need to be ready for that gunfight. If we want to get first shots and track better, what's going to help us? Good centering. Now, he doesn't end up pushing us. When I slide on this corner, perfect centering. This is why centering is so important. This is why centering is so important. We got first shots, we track better. That guy had no chance. These first 3 gunfights, pretty easy. Pretty easy. I didn't land in a hot spot where sweats usually land. There's actually some really good players in this game. By the way, if you guys enjoy these kind of breakdowns, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now we're just going to finish our contract. I think I do run into one more player here.
Station here.
All right, so come over here. We finish this contract. The reason I like starting with a scav contract is because you always get a satchel. And so now this is a fantastic start. If we're talking about pacing, you know, if you guys want to drop 20 kill games, 15 kill games, 25 kill games, whatever it is, we have just finished our first contract already, which is going to help us get more money throughout the game. We have 3 kills with 120 players. That's great pace. And we have 20 grand. I did have a bounty on me that I survived, and so that's part of the reason why I have so much money, but the scav contract's always going to give us enough. Right here, we see this guy up on the hill. Don't know if he sees us. He doesn't. And so I just decided to push up. I just skipped a little bit over it here, but there was a little red dot. It's starting to fade away. We see a red dot that's down low, and he's shooting up at big blue. So I know that this guy over here is distracted. That is my opportunity to get first shots. Just want to catch this guy off guard. Very easy. Now, I literally never shoot this gun. Didn't realize that it freaking shoots to the sky when you start shooting it. So we get first shots. We see the sniper. You know, this guy probably just got sniped. He's also running this way. And so should I chase him here and expose myself to the sniper? No. My options are to go through this door and cut him off, or wrap around here and cut him off. Because we already have first shots. We want to play aggressive. Pull out the knife. Throws a loadout down for some reason. One thing I want to point out, we see this guy running this way. This is a very small little thing. Obviously, we just got first shots. He just got sniped, but he's also running past this door, and he's trying to put on plates. And so I know that I can play this as aggressive as I want. Right? Because he was 2 bullets. Now, we know there was a sniper up there earlier. We're using previous information to work on our next gunfight. So before I come out here, I hit a quick little shoulder. Trying to figure out if this guy knows we're here. Got a car pulling up next to us. We're just gathering information. And so at this point, in my head, I know there's 2 players here. One just got out of the car, one's on a sniper. But I want to get my loadout. I throw the smoke, kind of get a bad bounce on the smoke. Hit the loadout very quickly, chuck it away from the sniper. We see he's still looking at us. So rather than re-peeking and, you know, just, oh, I'm going to stand out here and shoot you, I hit a quick shoulder, and then we come back to a different angle. Now, this is one of those gunfights where it's like, you don't have to fight the sniper. You don't have to fight the camper. So I just disengage here to try and get my loadout. Very risky. Probably wouldn't suggest that unless you have good movement and are quick on the buy station. So now I have UAV. We got 3 players, right? We got 1 on top red. Let me switch colors here. We got 1 on top red, 1 on big blue, and 1 on our level blue. So those are the things, you know, I'm thinking about. This guy's really my biggest threat right now because I know that he's going to see this red smoke on my loadout, and he's probably going to try and hold it. Dropped a cluster strike. I'm just assuming that that's going on to my loadout if you're smart, but it's not. So it must have been popped by the guy at big blue. So I come out here, and I try to figure out whether or not this guy's going to hold my loadout. I'm trying to get my loadout. I know I'm going to go for it either way here. Use my movement to make this guy miss. You can't see my eyes right now, but my eyes right now are looking up at this. I don't see a glint anymore, and so I know that's my opportunity to grab the loadout. Had there been a glint here, I probably would have stayed moving around to try and make this guy miss, but because he's not there, I go for the loadout. Use our cover, pull out our tack knife, making sure we're moving here. Okay, and so now we're starting another 1v1. This is how earlier 1v1s start, right? I already know exactly where this guy is. We have the information. Now I've come up with a plan. My plan is to go push Big Red. I don't know how good this player is, but I'm going to test him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go hit the other stairwell, right? If you know Big Red, there's 2 stairwells. I'm going to go hit the stairwell that he's not in. And if he's going to give us, if he's going to just let us freely push him, then we're going to tank it. If he doesn't let us freely push it, then we just leave. If a bad player is going to give you positioning, if they're just going to let you for free take things, you need to punish that, right? And so rather than just pushing up here and hoping I can climb ladder on him, I go to the other side because I know there's another sniper. There's other players here. He might focus on them. So I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. Long story short, I hear him over there, but he doesn't punish us for pushing this. So I get here, I lay down, and then I stand up, try to get first shots. I hit a little snake. Throw a smoke down. He has first shots right now, so I throw one at him. Now we plate. And so now, just by being a little patient, we've now given ourselves pre-aim advantage. But there's a sniper. You know, we got a sniper behind us, obviously from the UAV earlier. I also have this guy right here, so I can't just focus fully on this guy across from us. Stand up here. We have pre-aim advantage. Now I get first shots, and I track better. Immediately lay down because what is the guy on Big Blue going to think, right? On the guy on Big Blue's minimap, you know, from his POV, I'm a big bright red dot right here. And so I don't want to get sniped in the back by a sniper because I just got out of a gunfight and I need to plate. Now you're going to see me snake again to see if this guy's looking at me. He's not. And so again, this is where another 1v1 starts. I'm already thinking about the next gunfight. I'm not going to go over there and loot that guy. I have enough cash. A lot of you guys would sit over there, go loot, and you'd be like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here and loot, and then I'm just going to stand here for the rest of, you know, the rest of the first circle, whatever it is. I'm immediately on to the next gunfight. He's going to give up this positioning to me by him not sitting there and, you know, pre-aiming me with his sniper. He's letting me take an advantage here. What I know that he doesn't is that, and this is a tip that I dropped in my most recent tips video, you can jump shoot and get over to Big Blue here. From top red, you can't jump and then pull your parachute, but you can hit a dive shoot. Excuse me, I might have said jump shoot. You can hit a dive shoot off of Big Red, and it'll give you enough momentum to get somewhere you couldn't get if you just jump shoot. And a lot of people don't know that, but I do. So when he's not pre-aiming at me, I'm like, all right, you're going to give this up to me? I'm going to take it. We get a free loadout. That's a bug right now. Get a free loadout off this guy. I notice he's not holding me. Again, he's not holding me. See this guy down here? Steal that kill. Again, he's not giving this to me. Hit a jump shoot or dive shoot. Dive shoot gives us access to this corner, and now we have high ground again. Now, he doesn't end up being up here. I don't know where he goes, but the point is, this guy gave up power position, and I took advantage of it. I hear footsteps underneath me, so I decide to focus more on this. But then I see the car goes to the buy. Pops a UAV. Him popping it, like, this is very obvious, right? Like, to some people, this might not be obvious, but so I want to point it out. This red thing means we're on UAV. But even without that, like, we know that this guy just drove up here, got out of his car, and then got on a buy station, and then magically we hear a UAV pop, right? Very obviously, this guy just popped a UAV, and so I do need to be a little bit careful here. I try to use this ledge as a little bit of cover, right? Like, if I just stand on the very edge of this building, I'm just giving that guy my entire body to shoot at. So I start to back up a little bit, use an impact grenade, I get an easy kill. He was in a gunfight. If we look up at the minimap, right, we heard him shooting. We heard another player shooting. That means he was in a gunfight. We look up at the minimap, I see an arrow, and then an arrow pointing down. So that means this guy's below me, somewhere on the other side of this building.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Guy lands in here. You guys don't know, you can jump in through this window. Somehow I lose this guy. Goes into this door. I want to point out something. Timing is a very, 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 very important thing with your gunfights. And so anytime you can catch someone in an animation, it gives you an advantage. So that's why the most common example of this is sweats. That's why sweats always re-chal you. When you shoot a sweat and then they just magically re-challenge out from the same angle you just shot them, it's because they know that they're going to catch you in a tac sprint animation. Because the tac sprint animation prevents you from getting your gun out. What I do here is I hear this guy reloading. When I hear this guy reloading, what does that mean? On his screen, he's sitting there doing this with his gun, and he doesn't have his gun pointed at this door, right? And so that's an easy 1v1 for me. Now, it doesn't become easy because he gets out as I push in. Hear that reload, we push in, I get first shots, and now I'm just trying to track this guy down. Trying to pre-fire. He's doing a good job of running here. Shutting the door behind him. Throws a Molotov. We end up getting him anyways. But because I heard that reload animation, I was able to challenge through the door, get first shots, and then we just track him down. So timing is very, very important in gunfights. So I know that I heard shots here earlier. There's another player here somewhere. And unfortunately, we see him right here. But I literally, honestly, I'm gonna, just because I want you guys to see this, I am gonna hide my camera real quick. Just so you guys can see this. Let's back it up. This is how crazy, like, things can get you killed in Warzone. I don't end up dying here, but just watch my eyes. I go to read chat. I record all my games live. Watch. I go to read chat. The second I go to read chat, this guy crosses, and it's like literally a 3 millisecond window that I would have saw this guy. But I just wanted to point that out because I think it's funny. By the way, I am live Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern. I record all of these games live on stream. So we pop the UAV. We end up seeing this guy anyways. I don't know how he's going to play this. And so I play this building for a little bit of cover. Look on our minimap. We see him really close to the restaurant. And so that tells me that he's somewhere over here. Use my impact grenade to try and get first shots. Makes this guy push back. We get one bullet on him. So we get first shots. And again, I don't want to chase this guy. I want to cut him off. So come to the side here, slide out with good centering. This is why centering is so important. I talk about this all the time, but it's literally the easiest way to improve your KD, get more kills, get more wins. Practice your centering, right? Like a lot of you guys would just like stare at the ground and walk out here, and then this guy gets away from you. But because I was ready for this, I get the kill here. Okay. So this is a little bit more advanced. I talk about this with my students a lot. I think one of the biggest differentiators from being a good and a great player is how you use your information. And so in this example, what we're talking about as our information is a UAV. And so what I always like to say is like, you don't want to invest that $6,000 UAV that you purchased into one player, because you're probably not going to get that $6,000 back. When you use a UAV, you want to memorize where every single person in the zone is, right? And so we got a guy across here. We got a guy across over here, here, and here. Now, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right from the stream, I end up going TV station. We talked about this earlier. I'm not going to go fight downtown. This guy's too far away. I could go push this guy and then kill this guy, but I think I just end up going TV station here. And that's probably because it's the closer gunfight and I don't have to cross out in the middle of the open. Could go either way there, though. So I ping that, and then I go push TV. So we'll just skip ahead a little bit here. We got more free loadouts because of the loadout bug. Like if you kill somebody that recently popped a loadout. On our way, if you guys could hear my voice while I was on stream, I just say, I'm going to ping this contract and grab it just for fun. And the reason I say for fun is because it's really important that you maximize and be efficient with the things that you're doing. And so a lot of times, if you watch good players, on their way to doing one objective, they're also setting themselves up for another objective. Now, whether or not I complete this contract doesn't really matter, but I'm setting myself up to, if I have a decent opportunity to complete the contract, I will. And that's going to give me more cash later in the game. So on my way to fighting this guy, I grab the contract. Pop a UAV. We see this guy is on our level. If we look up at the minimap, he's on our level. And because I'm running bird's eye, it's going to give me, you know, he's looking at me on my level. And so I know that just because I play TV a lot, this guy is in this doorway looking at where I'm at right now. And so I have to play this a little bit more careful because he has a pre-aim advantage on me, right? Like if I slide out here, if I play this super aggressive, then he's going to get first shots on me. So I had a quick little shoulder to make sure, you know, he's not looking at me. Then I realized, okay, I have this fence here that's going to block this guy's vision. So I use my impact grenade and I throw it right where I know this guy is. Right? I use my impact grenade to get first shots. Impact grenade breaks his plates, so I use that as an opportunity. I'm gonna full press this guy. We hear the footsteps stop. This is like this is a really fine line that you need to play with good players. Like, this guy knows that I'm chasing him. And so because he knows I'm chasing him, he can use that as an advantage for him, right? He's going to catch me in attack sprint here. But because he's so low, it doesn't even really matter. Just something to think about. The longer you chase someone, the closer back to a 50-50 this is going to get. Had this guy kept running and kept running and kept running, I probably would have slowed down and started to treat this more as a fair 50-50. But because I know this guy doesn't have enough plates, right? Like, I broke all of his plates. I play this way I do. Slide, start with hip fire, track better. Good reach out of him. I like that reach out. We're looking at our UAV. Again, we're trying to use it for as many kills as we can. We're not always going to, but we're going to try to. So I ping those people with my green ping, but I don't end up going there. And I want you guys to, I'm just going to give you an opportunity to think about why for a second. Let me back it up. So I look at my minimap and I end up pinging down here. I don't end up going here. Why do you think that is? We talked about being efficient, trying to do multiple objectives if you can. So by coming over here earlier and grabbing that supply run, I now have a supply run and a kill over here, right? Like, I have a supply run and a 1v1. In my mind, it's a kill. But if I come over here, I can get a free kill. I can get a kill, and then I can complete a contract. Whereas if I come over here, I'm just getting one kill. What's better? Getting one kill or getting one kill and completing a contract? So that's why I do that. And it just goes to show that, like, you don't always have to complete the contract, but just popping the contract is going to give you more opportunities to be more efficient. So we grab the car, and I'm like, all right, never mind. I'm going to come over here to the supply run because there's a guy over here. I wanted to see if I got one more ping, but I do remember where this guy is. I do remember that guy was in that double tier building as I'm pushing up here. Get a spring my notification. That was from earlier at TV. So as we're pushing up here, I don't know for sure, right? Like, we don't have a UAV up, but I know that the last place I saw him, maybe 7 seconds ago, was right here. And so as I push up here, what's this guy going to think? He's going to see a bright red car coming towards him. I need to be ready for a gunfight. Runs across the street. Get first shots. What do you know? Where's he looking? He's looking at the car. So this is a quick little tip I'll give you guys. Average players to below average players will almost always just stare at the car. Using cars is kind of broken right now. Cars have always kind of been broken in Warzone because the average player will just stare at the car and they'll focus on the car because they think you're in the car. So if you get out of the car before they anticipate it, it's an easy way to get first shots. All right. So we get that kill. I don't know for sure, right? Like, I don't know for sure that that was the guy that I saw earlier. So I just make sure. Right? Like, if there was a guy in that double tier building, if the guy I just killed wasn't the player I saw on UAV, then that means maybe there's a guy in double tier that's going to come out and push me. So I'm just getting myself ready for the next gunfight. I just kind of hover for a second to see if someone's going to chow the window. All right. So now we're able to get a kill and finish our contract here. Grab a munitions box, pop a UAV, grab another UAV. All right. And so this is a really important part of UAVs. A lot of you guys will just sit there and pop UAVs on the same buy station over and over and over and over. And I say that because I see some of my students do that. They'll pop 2, 3, 4 UAVs in the exact same location. So you need to use your UAVs more efficiently. I know that I haven't been on this side of the map yet. And so when I pop my UAV, look at that. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players over here. So now I'm trying to decide where I want to go. The closer gunfight to me is that green ping if I go grab the car. Didn't grab the cash there because it just didn't auto pick up. All right. So we're going to go push that green ping because there's 2 players nearby. I don't want them to fight each other, right? If we're going for a high kill game, we don't want to let them fight each other. So we push right over here. We don't drive straight up to where they are, right? Like, we don't just drive straight up into the middle of them, get sandwiched, die, and then blame the game. I get out here and then work my way there. Pop my UAV again. This guy's over to the left, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll catch him over here. Great centering. This is why centering is so important, right? Like, This is a huge difference. Like, it might seem like something small, but I'm gonna pause it right here. A lot of you guys would just like, my crosshair is here and even ends up, like I end up putting it here. A lot of your guys' crosshairs would be on the ground right here. A lot of your guys' crosshairs would be down here. And then when this guy, let's make him green. When this guy comes out and he ends up being here, right? When he moves out here, now all of a sudden, since your crosshair's down here, you have to then flick your camera up. You have to flick. Whereas like my crosshair's already ready. That way when I left trigger, I get aim assist. It seems like something that's very small, but this is why centering is so important. Because it's how you get first shots. It's how you activate your aim assist. I know this is going to be obvious to some people, but some people need to hear this as well. Centering wins gunfights. Okay. And so we saw the last ping, or we're seeing one of our last pings. This guy's on the bridge. He's on our level. He's on our level. Now this red dot's moving pretty quick after this next ping. So he jumps down. We hear the parachute animation, right? We hear the parachute animation in our ears, and the red dot also gets a little arrow below it, right? So this is very obvious to some people, but you'd be surprised how many people don't know if there's a red dot with an arrow below it, that means he's below your level. And so because I hear the parachute animation and the red dot changes, I know this guy's down here somewhere. So I center my crosshair down there. Now this red dot starts moving pretty quick here. I'm like, oh man, I catch bad timing on this. Catch bad timing on this. This guy goes to the buy station. Sniper glint. All of these things I'm starting to realize, like, okay, this is like a little bit of a better player because the average player doesn't move this fast. The average player doesn't move this fast or look back towards the bridge to anticipate me, right?
I'm reloading.
And if I had my mic playing right now, you guys would hear that. You'd hear me talking about this. Like, I even say at this point that this guy's going to anticipate me here, and he does. Yep. He has good centering. I have good centering. So right away, I know I'm dealing with a decent player. But unfortunately, I don't really have a good way to get to him. And so this is, I'm going to just tell you guys right now, this is a gunfight I end up losing. And so I'm just going to walk you through right now why I end up losing this gunfight. And so you'll see me right here. I bounce a smoke down on the ground. I know that I'm dealing with a decent player. If we look up here on the minimap, we see he's above us now. And so I know, because I played Verdansk a million times, I know that this guy's on the little balcony out here, and he's got a little bit of cover with the wooden balcony. And so I'm not in a good spot. I want to close the gap. The reason I bounce a smoke on the ground right now is because it's gonna put the smoke out here, and it's gonna give me an opportunity to A, have cover, B, break this guy's aim assist, and C, get inside of his building. That's my goal right now, is to gap close and get closer to this guy because he has really good cover and I don't. So that's what my goal was here. Smoke doesn't end up covering. It doesn't go as far as I kind of anticipated. And so as I'm pushing into this building, trying to get close, he ends up getting really good first shots on me. Now I do live here for a little bit. Like, this is an extended gunfight, but this is why first shots are so important. Also, why punishing a player when you get first shots is so important. This is the difference between a good player, or like an average player, and a pretty good player right here. This is literally the difference. And I have plenty of clips I could show you guys for this. The second this guy gets first shots on me, the second he breaks my plates, he keeps the pressure on me, right? This is how you beat a good player. You fight fire with fire. He gets first shots on me and immediately chases me. He keeps the pressure. The entire gunfight, he keeps the pressure on me. Never gives me enough time to breathe. Now, I will point out, there is a part where this guy gets really lucky because I get third-partied, but just pointing out, pay attention to how much pressure he puts on me here. Gets first shots, immediately starts chasing me. I bust through the door, start putting on cover. I'm using the door as cover. He's going to chase me. I know that the second he breaks through this door, I'm going to run back through. Unfortunately, right there, that guy didn't shoot me. I just got shot from police. I probably win this gunfight, to be honest with you guys, because I would be back up to full plates here. I just broke this guy's camera, right? Like, he ran out the door. I ran back in through the door. I do this all the time with doors. Warzone timing is, COD timing is hilarious. I get sniped from police over here. And so now I'm back in a situation where, like, oh, frick, I got a plate again. I anticipate this guy pushing. He doesn't. So now I have to plate again. Now he gets first shots again. I want to give him credit. He makes a really good push here. Like some players would chase me out this way, but he cuts me off. Breaks my plates again. Run back through here. He's running up the stairs. And then I just slide out. He slides out at the same time. I miss a couple shots here. He wins the gunfight. And so this came down to getting first shots and tracking better. He got first shots on me. He kept the pressure. He got a little bit lucky with me getting sniped while I was out there getting full plates on. He cut me off on a push, got first shots on me again. I run back through. We're back to a 50-50 gunfight, and because of either bad centering or bad timing, I lose this gunfight. So I know that there's, like, that's kind of a lot that I just talked about, but I'm just going to let this play all the way through. Let me back up if I can. Okay, so I backed it up to this point. We're just going to let it play. I want you guys to be able to watch this in its entirety. Probably going to read this. Yep.
Tossing smoke grenade. Stun grenade. Fire over here.
Gets for shots, play the door. Gets sniped. Gets first shots again, bro. Cuts me off. Keeping the pressure. Getting first shots and keeping the pressure. Oh, you know what? I ran out of plates. That's why I lost this gunfight. I'm just now realizing that. I only had one plate to put on there. Good. I honestly probably win that.
Shots. Good shots, man.
It's those little...
I had my AR out there.
It's those little timing things and, like, getting shot. He keeps the pressure. Like, all of these things are very high-level 1v1 stuff, so I just wanted to kind of dive into this because, A, it's a mistake that I make, and B, it's just... There's a lot you can learn from that. So let me switch back to not having audio. This guy ends up playing with me a little bit. Now we're in the gulag. Pre-aiming for first shots, pre-aiming for first shots. Use this to cut off a lane, but he just ends up being AFK. Literally just ends up being AFK. So because of those 2 free loadouts earlier, we get back into this game pretty quick. By the way, if you guys are enjoying this, make sure to leave a like. I've been sick, so that's kind of where the lack of content has been. All right, so we just got shot. I know that I don't have like an immediate threat right now because this guy is big red and pretty far away from me. So this is a little bit of a hairy situation, but I end up getting out of it. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit here. We end up getting out of this. I rotate up to TV, and then we grab another supply run. The reason I grab a supply run is because if you guys have heard me say on the channel a million times, the more contracts you do, the more each contract gives you money-wise. And so we're getting a little bit towards the end of this game. We're starting to get into the end game. I know that by doing one contract, I'm going to be able to get myself a self-res and the rest of the things on my end game checklist. I'm starting to think about my end game checklist before we even get into the end game here. Skip ahead a little bit more. We're driving up. And as I drive up, I just happen to see a spring mine on the ground here, I think. Yeah. Happen to see the spring mine on the ground, and this guy is trying to bait me into running over the spring mine. And so now we're in a 1v1. By the way, Block from the streams, were you in this game? That's crazy. We hear footsteps. Pretty good flick. Not the greatest tracking. That guy gets first shots on us, we still win, so we'll take that. Haven't really used the ladder much at this point. Get sniped in the back. Don't know exactly where it came from. Obviously, we have this little thing, so I know it came from that direction, but... Shoulder. I'll just tell you guys, he ends up being right here, but I don't see a glint, so... Always trying to move, make sure we don't get shot again. So now we're completing our supply run contract. That's going to give us time to get our end game checklist here. So once I complete this contract, we're going to have a lot more cash. You're going to see all the things I go through. I throw my smoke down on the buy just to make sure I don't get sniped again from somewhere else. So we grab a self-res first, a UAV, then we pop the UAV. Grab a munitions box and a cluster. And so this is my end game checklist right here. Self-res, satchel with plates, gas mask, smokes, munitions box, cluster. That is generally the things that I try to go into an end game with. Then we pop the UAV and we see where this guy's at. Seat swap so I don't get sniped. And we put a live ping on this, or not a live ping, we put a ping on this guy so we can kind of generally figure out where he's at. Horrible shots out of me here, to be honest. Horrible shots out of me. I thought this guy was a bot. I really wasn't taking it too serious. Terrible shots. But we survive. C-swap again, so I don't get sniped. All right, and so now we are in the end game, right? I've said generally that end games start around the 4th circle. And so now I'm shifting from, okay, we're in kills mode to positioning mode. I'm very far out of the zone right now. I need to, as quickly as possible, get closer to safety. If we look at the map, I see a lot of cars here. So that tells me that there's a lot of players over here. Military base is obviously going to have players. And there's going to be, I would say most of the lobby is probably going to be here. Again, I already know what happens, but just based on this, you can kind of start to figure out where people are, right? Like, most players play on this bottom portion of the map, right? And so everybody's going to be rotating in this way, right? Like, there's not going to be a lot of people coming in from quarry or military base at this point. So that tells me that this is going to be a hot zone. Just things that I'm pointing out. We have a buy station here. These are all sort of like the little pieces and little variables that go into how I play positioning here. So right now, I'm just going to skip ahead. Come over to the buy station because I have some cash to burn. But rather than just going straight to the buy station, I try to clear this out. Hit good centering. Shoulder up here. All right, we're clear. Make sure there's no snipers. Kind of just good habits, good practice for hitting the buy station. So we pop the UAV. And as I said, there's a lot of players over here. We got one guy rotating in behind us over here. We got 2 bank, 2 rooftop here, and 2 here. So ideally, I'd like to be up here, but I know that that's probably not realistic. And so at this point in the game, I'm not going for kills. I'm just going for trying to play for positioning. So skip ahead a little bit here. I get myself close to bank because I'm trying to make a play on bank. We can tell by the UAV that this guy... So let me back it up just a second. It's going to take a little bit of explanation here. So on this ping of the UAV, I see that this red dot just moved over to this corner. And so in my mind, that means that this guy is trying to hold me or position himself to take advantage of me being out of the zone. So I get out of the car here, and then I kind of just push up to see if this guy's going to hold me. That's why I get out here rather than just driving straight up to him. Shut the door. On this next ping of the UAV, I see that that red dot just went over to the other side. And so we talked about this earlier in the game. If somebody's going to give you positioning for free, if they're not going to punish you, if they're not going to take advantage of your disadvantage, if they're not going to punish it, then you punish it. You punish their mistake. And so the second I see this guy's on the roof on the other side of bank, I'm like, all right, bro, free. Thanks for giving me bottom bank. Appreciate it. Smart play would have been for him to hold me here. I hear him laying down. I don't do a good job of shouldering here. Like we saw in the very first, or the very second clip that we broke down, one of the first 2 clips we broke down. In this exact scenario, the first time I shouldered. This time I slowly ADS'd. Bad play here. Bad play here. Now he gets first shots. I only lose half a plate. Here the C4. I like to use explosions and C4s and smoke and grenades. Like, I now have a little bit of an opportunity to do something here, right? Because he won't be able to see me. He also won't have aim assist if I push through here. So I use my impact grenade like I did earlier. He ends up just running away. Ends up just running away. So I'm going to skip forward ahead just a little bit here. I jumped off the building there. I didn't take damage. This guy ends up rotating, and now zone is closing. So I'm outside of the zone right now. I just need to play for positioning, but I know there's a lot of players here. Footsteps tell me the one guy's on the roof. Making sure he's not trying to hold me. I'm just trying to play as safe as I can here, right? Like, we're just playing for positioning. That guy looks down because he hears me. Don't want to sit on the outside of this building too long. I'm in here with good centering. All right, so now we're safe. The second this zone closes, I'm immediately looking to see where I want to go next. Come in here with good centering. Coming here with good centering. This is one of those situations where, like, I've talked about this in a couple videos. Had there been a guy in this corner, with no context, or me not explaining this, some people would be like, oh, how'd you know he was there? Walls. But they don't see the hundreds of times that I do something exactly like this, where I just guess that there's somebody here and I'm wrong. They only see the one time that I guess someone's there and I'm right. So just a little bit of a perspective for you guys. So right away, we're trying to figure out exactly what we want to do. There's not an obvious answer here, but I'll just explain to you my thought process. So we know that this wall is going to be a little bit of cover, and this wall is going to split up the zone a little bit. I could go right, but I have to trek through a lot of buildings and a lot of players, right? Like we saw a lot of red dots here earlier. If I want to go right, I'm going to have to push through a lot of players. I know that based on this map, you know, playing on this map, Verdansk, that there's a little bit of a hill right here. So in my mind, I just decide that pushing left is the better play, because then I can use this wall as cover later on. There's not an exact science here, but that's just what I decide to do. Give myself a little bit of high ground by going left, clear out anybody that's rotating this way, and then claim this part of the zone as mine, right? Again, not an exact science, but we know there's going to be people if I go right. So I'll just skip ahead a little bit here. I just start to push myself left. The reason I don't go right away is because we know that there's a player up here on the roof, right? We know there's players over here. And so if I start to turn my back and rotate too early, not only will I maybe get shot in the back, but I also might get sandwiched by somebody else that's lurking over here, right? And so I only want to take one gunfight at a time. This is where, like, you guys get third-partied and you're like, oh, this is just luck. You don't set yourself up to not get third-partied. You don't set yourself up to not get sandwiched. So that's the reason I kind of trickle into this zone a little bit late here, is because I know there's still players here that need to rotate as well, and they might decide to go the same way I did. So if I go too early, I might get sandwiched. Because I don't have a suppressor. Anytime that I shoot, the rest of this zone is going to know where I'm at. So we're checking. We hear a sniper up. Check again. Use the hill as a little bit of cover. Ping this guy. Okay. That's why live pings are so important. Now we know where this guy just got out. We know where this guy just landed. And so that's going to inform some of the decision making I make here. I make sure this guy doesn't push right over to me, but he doesn't know I'm here. So my bigger threat, what's my bigger threat? A player that doesn't know I'm here, or possibly someone over here that has been watching me. You know what I mean? And so I prioritize this left push before I prioritize the pink Teletubby guy. Again, if you guys are enjoying this, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. Just double check, make sure you're subscribed. Okay, so once I clear out there's nobody to the left, my next biggest threat is the pink Teletubby guy. This is why just like having information sets you up for good gunfights. The second I hear footsteps on my left, I'm like, all right, it's pink Teletubby guy, I need to lock in. Good centering. Don't even get into a gunfight.
Change your max.
Again, what is like this whole time I don't know if there's somebody over here, right? What is somebody over here going to think when they hear those gunshots? They're going to look at their minimap, hopefully, if they're a decent player. They're going to see a red dot over here. And so I don't go loot that guy because I know that I'm in a very dangerous situation where I just pinged on somebody's minimap. I'm getting ready for the next gunfight. Pull my knife out here, play my cover. Just trying to make sure I'm the only person on this side of the map right now. Play the edge of the zone, so I know there's nothing to my left, right? Like, I know that I don't have to worry about anything on the left side of my screen right now. I only have to worry about what's on the outside or on the inside of the zone. As we come up here, we see this guy. I tried to have a little bit of trigger discipline. because I thought that maybe this guy would go back around the wall. but I wanted to give him the opportunity to maybe make a mistake and just run this way, right? Like either he goes behind the wall or he runs this way. Either way, when he's just standing right here, I don't want to take the shots because if I can't fully get the kill and he gets behind that wall, now this becomes a hairy gunfight, right? Like I want to get first shots, track better, keep the gunfight short. Unfortunately, we get sniped by this guy. We get a little bit lucky. You could call it luck. It is a little bit of luck because he misses some shots. But because we have a self-res that's on our end game checklist, we set ourselves up to take advantage of this guy's mistake. Again, yes, this is luck. Sometimes you gotta get lucky. Pop this right here, throw a smoke down immediately.
Enemy precision airstrike. Find cover.
Throws a precision airstrike down, I go to play the wall. All right. And so I'm gonna do something that I haven't done in some of these breakdown videos. Because of the way this game plays out, I want to let you guys hear my live thought process while I'm doing this. So I'm literally just gonna shut up and I'm gonna take my camera away so you guys can see what happens here.
Still play fence over here.
Moving. I'm reloading.
I have no plates. Now I do. Alright.
You're losing ground. Moving.
I need to worry about... I know there's a guy up here on the right with me. I need to worry about him.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Gotta worry about hill line. Gotta worry about fence.
Scratch that.
There's definitely a guy up here with me, bro. There's no way there's not.
You're in the top 3. Don't let up now. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Love the dead slide. Do have my smokes. There's cover out here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. That car, probably.
Moving here.
Car is not safe. That fence is safe. It's kind of right in the middle of the zone, though. I think I'm gonna have to play for this car.
Gas is moving.
I don't see anybody out in the open right now. You guys are fighting up
You're
here?
in the last 2. Now finish this. Time to fly 5 seconds. Out.
This guy's got perfect cover here, bro. Fuck. I literally have to just like fucking wing this, bro.
Cancel my loss.
Nice. Nice. That's tough, man. I thought there was more people close left and right, and they were both on the backside.
All right, and so that is exactly why I picked this game. It wasn't some crazy 40 kill game where I'm just like picture perfect, making all the best plays in 1v1s. I wanted to give you guys something a little bit more relatable. And also, this last part that I'm going to show you guys is me learning from this death. What a lot of you guys do is you'll just play and you'll 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 never learn from your mistakes. So I'm going to walk you through my thought processes. This is literally what I did while I was live on stream. I want to let you guys into that mindset of like how I learned from my deaths. You're going to literally see me walk through it in my head in real time. I'm going to let you guys watch that.
The zone. I knew car wasn't safe, dude. I knew car wasn't safe. Really, like, my only play there was exactly what I tried to do, which is throw the cluster down on him, use that as cover to try and get first shots, and then just couldn't clean that up. RIP. That was hard, man. That's just one of those situations where, like... Let's watch that back, actually. Let's watch that back. That was one of those situations where there's not really a great answer. You kind of just have to will yourself to a victory there. Let me pull this up. Do have my smokes. There's cover out here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Right, so like we pinged, I was shouldering for cover here. Like obviously this is going to be the best position in the zone. But in my mind, I know there was somebody over here earlier sniping at me. Let's try and figure this out. I want to explain to you guys my thought process and then also talk about what I could have done better. So in my mind, I saw a sniper over here earlier, right? Like we got sniped from up here. And so I'm like, okay, there's definitely a guy on the left somewhere. And if I had to guess, there's probably a guy by this car. And so in my mind, this was not a good position to be in because I would have been split between there's a guy behind me. You know what I mean? Like I would have been sandwiched. That was what was going through my head was like, okay, there's guy left, guy right. Can't take that piece of cover because it's not safe. What ended up happening is, of course, they're both like right over here. And I grab a piece of cover that's not fully in the zone. So maybe a UAV would have been better in this situation. I still like having the cluster, but it's just unfortunate. I think this was the right play. I still believe this was the right play, given the information that I had, knowing that there, at least in my head, there was a sniper over here earlier, and me just assuming there's a guy on the right. This would have for sure been the better play. But because they both ended up being over here, this guy was able to get to a really good piece of cover, and then, you know, it's just me sitting out here in the middle of the open trying to aura diff this guy who has cover. I think I did a good job of using my cluster to put pressure on this guy, but then he ends up just hitting really good shots. Like there's just not much I can do when I'm standing out in the middle of the open and he's sitting here on cover just free firing at me. So I think next time, before I move, maybe I try to get an exact position on where they are. Because I did, like, if we back it up a little bit, do have my smokes. There's cover out here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Like, I did shoulder this quite a bit, trying to figure out where these guys were. That car, probably. Car is not safe. That fence is safe. It's kind of right in the middle of the zone, though. I think I'm going to have to play... Like, I did do a good job of making sure that I was looking for people. I think next time I need to, like, actually figure out where they are. Because I just didn't have the information. So next time, I think what I learned from this is when I don't have a complete picture of who's left in the zone, try to figure out where the last two guys are. Because that would have been, like, I made the right decision given the information that I thought that I had. If I would have known that they were both on the other side of the zone, I would have taken that fence. For this car.
Gas is moving.
I don't see anybody out in the open right now. Like, even here, like, nobody's shooting at me. The second I hear shots, I'm like, okay. Fighting up here? The second I hear shots, I'm like, okay, for whatever freaking reason, both of these guys ended up being over here. And now I'm stuck. This guy's got free cover. Like, there's just no... I also didn't plate. I also didn't plate. This guy's got perfect cover here, bro. Fuck. Burned both my smokes. Didn't have a munitions box. Munitions box probably would have won me this game. Just like fucking wing this, bro. So I dropped the cluster on him. And I know that, like, I only have a few more cluster strikes that are going to give me, you know, some sort of visual cover to push this guy. I got to push this guy now. Otherwise, like, if we just lay here, right? Like, a lot of you guys would just lay here. And this guy, like, a lot of you guys would just lay here and you'd stand up and get sniped in the face. Like, if I stay here and don't move right now, I am for sure going to die. The only way to give myself a chance is to just full push this. So I use the cover, right? Like we have the cluster strike is causing a bunch of stuff on this guy's screen. That gives me an opportunity to push right and try and get shots. But this guy just ends up having a lot of cover. You know what I mean? He's got this to play with, this wall to play with, this little freaking thing to play with. Yeah. Nice. Nice. He did a really good job playing his cover there. I think next time I just gotta have better information. So that's what I learned there. Have better information, make sure I have a munitions box. I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.